welcome to CA Talks, the show where we give you the rundown of everything that goes down. I'm one of your hosts, Booseong and today I'm here with
Meilynda Dorsey. Hello, everyone.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about the GIS program, and today we're joined by the amazing Professor
Professor Ramos. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us today, Professor Ramos. Can you tell us a little bit about the GIS program and what it is?
So there are several programs. There's more than one.
Yes.
There is a program at BC, at Broward College, which you can get, 12 credits. You get some kind of certification, like a beginner's. And for our students, usually it's hard to get the 12 credits because, you usually start in your senior year. So but at least you can get a basic understanding of what GIS and start doing some maps and stuff like that. Then from BC, then you can transfer to a program at UF, the University of Florida. It's called Geomatics over there. So this is a flyer that has some information. And this Geomatics program, it's you can do a bachelor's or you can do a master's. People do PhDs. So this program also for students that are interested in it, you can get up to $10,000 a year in scholarship. Depending on your income and your GPA and all that. So that is a great opportunity. They do need a lot of people in this area because there is a big demand now with big data and artificial intelligence. So there are all kinds of opportunity in all kinds of different fields. It doesn't have to be just engineering or geomatics per se. You can go into biologists use it, people in agriculture use it, engineers of course, data scientists. So there's a lot of even business people. So a lot of applications. So you can either do a degree in geomatics or you can do a minor and then use that as part of your minor as for your bachelor's degree, or and then if you want to go and specialize, then you can do the master's or a PhD. So it is a great incentive to have $10,000 a year in scholarship.
If I can ask, what is GIS like? I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's just an acronym, but it's just like, what does it stand for?
So it stands for Geographic Intermission Systems.
Okay.
Now, there is a big difference. People get confused with, they say, oh, it's Google Maps. It's not really Google Maps.
Oh.
Google Maps, what they do is basically just go around and take pictures of the houses and connect that to the coordinates, right? So latitude and longitude. But the GIS, you can see multiple levels. So you can see, for instance, if there's a river, how the water flows. You can see underground, like for instance, the engineers use it to figure out, when you have electricity on the ground, or you have obviously the sewer system, all kinds of the telephones and all that. So those systems you can't see it, right? So, but with the GIS, then you can see different levels of, the terrain, right? You can see the vegetation. You can see all kinds of, not just what is on the surface as a picture, but there's a lot of data that you don't see that is there, because the spectrum is a wider spectrum. That means that, what you see is basically like red, yellow, or blue, right? So the basic colors. But let's say the rainbow, right? But what you don't see is the infrared, the ultraviolet, all this other radiation that we as humans don't really perceive it. But these sensors that they have, you can see that. So this geographic information system has many components. You can look at the maps, like just a basic map like this, but there's multiple levels. Or you can look at maps and look at the data that the map is telling you, or the information. Sometimes you can have a matrix, right?
Okay.
Or sometimes you can have just data that you would use to extract some certain information, like for instance demographics, increases in temperature for, from time to time, the disappearance of glaciers, lowering the amount of ice on the surface, all that kind of stuff. You can tell by looking at not just what you can see, but also information that is hidden. But you can extract it by looking at the radiation and other features. So for those type of things, you need a specialized equipment. So it's not so you will need either special cameras that come with the drones.
Okay.
So there are different types of drones. You have one that looks like an airplane that is easy to maneuver and can stay on for a long period of time. Like there are birds that can travel for thousands of miles and
Right.
exert very little energy because it goes with the airflow.
Right.
But those drones also can crash,
Oh.
because they're designed. But there are other drones that are like the regular typical drone that you see that is like a helicopter, right? And those they require a lot of energy, so they can't stay for long, but they are more stable and it's better in terms of if you're looking at a specific area to get the data and collect the data more efficiently. So they have different uses depending on the drone that you use. When I was young, I had a chance to go do a scholarship, an internship with the Goddard Space Flight Center for NASA in Maryland, and at that time, that was 1982. How many years? I don't know. So many years ago.
It was a little while ago.
Yeah. So we work with what is called the Landsat. They still have it. So the Landsat is obviously more sophisticated than a drone, and they have it's a satellite that goes around the Earth and do what is called remote sensing.
Okay.
All right. So remote sensing is a more advanced version of these drone cameras, right, or sensors, and they can take obviously a bigger picture, the area. But at that time, so it's very complicated. It has a lot of information. Like each satellite picture has millions and millions of pieces of information. They're called pixels online. It creates a matrix of the map. So my contribution over there was to convert, because if you are a biologist or a geologist, you don't really care about pixels and lines that much. You care more about longitude and latitude. That are the coordinates that most people use. So my contribution was to create a program that converted from the pixel and line on that particular map to the longitude and latitude. So people can, it'll be easier for the user, right? So that was, like I said, many moons ago, and but they have been making progress, and now, with the artificial intelligence and big data, so what this iteration of artificial intelligence that we have, then the more data you accumulate, the better the system is going to be.
Okay.
So if you add to whatever system you have, now you're going to add maps that you can look at different levels of the terrain, infrared information or ultraviolet that will tell you if there are increases in temperature on the surface of the planet, which indicates that there's some kind of global warming effect. And pollution. Geologists use this as well, where they can determine where there are mineral deposits. I know that we saw a map of Honduras, for instance, where they basically you can determine the optimal use of the land, like in terms of what area should be used for agriculture, what area should be just natural forest, like a reserve. What area has mineral deposits that you can use. So pretty much they can optimize the economy of a country by just looking at these maps.
Okay, because my next question was gonna be like, why is it like important, or like why should people go to this field? But then you kind of like prove that like almost any field can use it.
Yes. So right now, like even biologists can see the movement of animals based on they're losing their habitats. And then you can use these maps to see, what's happening to these animals. They had to move to another habitat, or they're going to get extinguished, or what's the situation with certain trees. Like sometimes when you have situations like global warming, then the type of vegetation that you get is gonna start changing. So all these trends, you can use in agriculture to determine how you're going to irrigate a system, or if you're gonna input some pesticide instead of just doing the whole field. You can target certain areas. You're gonna feel okay. So we do have a problem in this area of the field. So then we're gonna go and target that particular area rather than spreading pesticides all over the map. And so yeah, it's more precise, right? And definitely it's gonna make things more efficient and hopefully also safer for humans to, and also for research. A lot of research in this area.
Yeah, thank you so much for all that. So I think we're running a little bit out of time, but for my final question, I wanted to ask. I know a lot of our audience was wondering, like, we heard a lot about this program, helping students get into UF and potentially giving them a degree to get a job. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I would recommend that the student takes the GIS classes here, like an introduction to, first of all, if you like it. And we are going to have a competition actually on November 16, I think it is. November 16, there's going to be a competition. So if you already know how to make maps, there's a map competition, and you can win prizes and all that. And then you'll have vendors, people that come in, that are the people that hire these students. I remember when I was in college that I learned how to use statistical software packages, and I was just like 18. But since I knew how to use the packages, I got a good job with the engineering department, working part-time, so rather than working at Starbucks or whatever, you can do something that more interesting. So even if you are not pursuing as a career, you can use it, to earn money and, finance your college. But if you are particularly interested in this area, then what you would do is, like I said, take these courses at BC that are available, that are free, and you can learn the software. Also, the software is not intuitive like learning Excel or PowerPoint. Is Google Docs is more sophisticated. So you do need some training and some practice to learn the system. Once you get that those basic courses, then you can go into the field if you want it, right? And then you learn how to use all the drones. You can become a drone pilot, certified drone pilot, and that is a prestigious thing to have in your resume. And then you get certifications as you move on. So based on your experience, after you finish your degree, then you usually get hired by a big company, and then you earn experience, and then you learn more. You get some more certificates, and you become specialized, right? So depending on the field you're going to go to, or what company you're working with, then you become more specialized in that field. So that's one area, and like I said, the other area is where you can see these as a supplement, right? A tool that you can use for your field. If you're a biologist or an agriculture or engineering, this is also something that you're gonna use as part of your tools, of the trade. The same way that you use statistics or you use, Google Docs or some other software. This is but it's very lucrative to have this kind of certification. But it does take time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Professor Ramos.
Oh, you're welcome.
So just for some updates, congrats to all the juniors for completing your PSAT. We are all so proud of you. But now Fridays will be used to study for the SAT. Just for some other updates, make sure to continuously check your CA D2L show for any updates. And the Jenkins Scholarship is due on November 25th, and most EA and ED1 applications will be due on November 1st. And for all the seniors out there, remember that UF can only be turned in on November 1st, so if you haven't, make sure to get on that. And seniors, please stop by Friday Cares for App Labs to answer any of your final questions and to finish your applications.
Unfortunately, it's about that time, but don't be sad and droop. Just tune in to stay into the loop. Thank you for tuning in, but we gotta tune out. Bye.